friends, welcome back to Dysfunction Exposed. I'm Emma J and this is season 4, episode 4. Now, at the end of episode 3, I was talking about moving into corporate life. But when I went back and looked at my notes, I'd completely missed a chunk out. So let me just rewind for a second. So while I was at college, and I'm still going through all this stuff, me and my friend get permission from our parents to go to Magaluf for her 18th birthday. And I told you in the last episode that I have this magic thing where someone comes on holiday with me, they go back with a man, and it ends up being a thing. And it happened in Magaluf. Can you believe? Romance is in the fucking air in Shagamuff. Of course it is. But this is the madness of timelines and the way people's paths are so different. Because you'd never expect to meet your future husband in Magaluf, would you? Really? Really? But it happened for my friend, and she's got a beautiful family now. They've been together over a decade, and it was just one of those things that was supposed to happen. And that's a weird one, because we could have just gone to Cyprus. We've been to Cyprus together before. Like, that would have been the cheap alternative. But we went, let's go somewhere else. Let's just try somewhere else. And that's what we did. And it turned into happily ever after. And I just wanted to share that bit of joy, because it can get heavy around here. But there are little bits of love and light in between it. And I have to honour that as much as honouring the shit as well. So yeah, what a lovely little story. What a beautiful thing to happen to them. I don't speak to them now. A lot has gone on from that point. But it's nice to see people doing well. I don't understand how anyone can hold resent for people that they've loved at one time. Because at one time, you genuinely felt that way about someone. You knew who they were. And you loved them for it. And then shit goes a bit sour and the wrong decisions are made. And then we hate them. Why? Because if we're taking accountability into effect, what was my role in it? What did I do that didn't encourage the resolution for that relationship? Because you're fucking damn right if you're thinking, yeah, you probably had something to do with this, Emma. Because it's always two-sided. But it's only usually one person taking that hit. But then perspective, look at it from a different view. Look at it from their view, because they probably felt hurt along the line, but we didn't have the capacity to think about that for ourselves. But yes, back to the original point. We love a bit of love. We're here for it. We love a fairy tale ending. It's not mine, but I can still be happy for other people. And I love that about myself. So anyway, getting back to corporate life. Well, this is different, innit? I'm a council estate kid. I don't even know how I managed to wing this job, to be honest, because it was definitely for the middle class kids. And it was obvious. Obvious. Because when I did get the job, bear in mind I was in this place for 3 years, so I'd been masking pretty damn well. But when I first got the job, it was call centre based. Obviously, I can turn it on. I don't like doing it anymore, and I won't do it anymore. But back then, I could turn it on, so I could behave like everybody else, even though it hurt me internally. That's what I had to do. Survival. And I didn't like it on the call centre floor. I'm not here for your customer service. It was this company that dealt with personal hire situations and all the rest of it. And these arseholes customers were entitled as fuck. And I hated them. I absolutely hated them. I couldn't give two shiny shits that you're having that problem because you're giving me attitude and all I'm trying to do is trying to help. So of course I'm going to treat you like a cunt because you're treating me like one. I don't care who you are. Like, that's just my mindset. That's my basic morality. And obviously it doesn't go down well in a corporate environment. Does it? Because I'm not all nicey, play by the rules. So it wasn't long before I shot my shot. How am I even supposed to say that? Why does that confuse me so much? I took my shot. I'm just going to say I took my shot. And I noticed that there was kind of this back office team to the call centre guys. And I knew I'd be better suited there because I wasn't specifically customer facing. And yeah, it was more dealing with the emails and I could do it with my headphones in. That was a game changer for me. But let me just come back to that in a minute. So before I even got to that point and took the shot, my manager, I had some nice managers, like don't get me wrong, but then this one manager, I couldn't fucking stand her. I couldn't stand her because she moved with so much ego. My nervous system's going, are you okay? I'm not okay because you're making me feel like I need to be like you. And I didn't want to do that. And the way the relationship played out with this woman, because I was under her management for quite a while, it was rocky. We butted heads a lot. She came from a very different background to me. She was management for a banking corporate institution. She must have only been about 23, 24 at the time. She's running around the office in a Louboutins thinking she's the dog's bollocks. And I could see straight through her. All I could see was that insecurity in a pair of heels. But I was like a dog with a bone. And I wouldn't let it go. I couldn't let it go. You're showing me exactly who you are and you're trying to put a nice pretty face on it. And I remember one day we'd had this little disagreement because I've never been backwards in coming forwards. If I didn't think the team was doing something that was relevant or necessary or it should have been outsourced to the correct team, I'm going to say it. Why am I doing that? That's not in my pay bracket. They're the bracket above me. That's theirs. But anyway, again, which is why corporate doesn't like a girl like me. But we'd come to blows one day, me and this woman. And I remember she pulled me off the floor and she was like, "Can we chat?" And I didn't want to. But I knew I had to. And I ended up saying all this stuff to her. And granted, it wouldn't have been the nicest way because I couldn't communicate very well. The right train of thought was there, but my delivery was fucking shocking. I was just guns blazing. And I always feel really bad for this moment because every single thing I said to that woman, she burst into hysterics in front of me. And that wasn't my place. That wasn't for me to tell her. I should have had something more about me, but I'm working in very close proximity. And back then I couldn't separate. Well, I still can't separate, which is why I've now been diagnosed as neurodivergent. I can't separate the two. Either you're being your authentic version and you're being who you are, regardless of the situation we're in being a corporate environment, you can still be yourself. But she couldn't. She couldn't. It's all mask. And I felt bad for her. As soon as she cried, I felt awful. Because like I say, she didn't need to hear that from me. That's her reality, not mine. Just because I've seen a different side, and reading is fucking fundamental, and I had that down since I was a kid. That didn't make it okay for me to say it. And it was a huge learning curve. And don't get me wrong, my delivery didn't improve until I was at the latter stages of my 20s. Because I just didn't know myself. I just thought it was normal to communicate like that. And yes, it is normal to me now that I understand that my brain's wired in a completely different capacity to the masses, to the 90% of people that would have been in that building with me. No wonder I don't make sense to you. My brain's functioning on a different level. But I didn't have the grace for that back then either. So this corporate hierarchy and these little cliques of individuals, it's like that Mean Girls scenario where she stood round the fountain and she's watching the animals fight and just be savage. But they're all doing it with a smile on their face and they're doing it very professionally. But I wasn't capable of that. So when I would tell my side or say what I needed to say, it was always, oh my God, you're so fucking rude. You're so horrible. You're such a bitch. When it wasn't that you were questioning the words I was saying, it was you didn't like the tone I was saying it in. Now, who does that problem belong to? Because I'm sitting on 100% of my shit that it is not mine. That ain't mine. And I can see that now. I can see that now for what it is. But hindsight. And I loved that first year with that company. Because it was just, I was still learning, and I love learning, even though the skill set was matched to what a toddler could probably do nowadays. I enjoy learning. I like learning the ins and outs of the company. I'm not actively doing shit with it, but I'm clocking everything. I know exactly how each department runs and where the hierarchy sits and who makes the decision and who you can be honest with and who you can't be honest with. And there's all these different factors that are coming into my environment. And I made some really good friends who were people around my age, and we all loved to have a good time back in the day. We're making decent money. We're driving decent cars. We're out having drinks every weekend. And genuine friendships were made. And we had a blast for a while. Until things start to get a bit weird, start to get a bit twisty in this situation. Because let me tell you what I lived. So the first encounter was at a Christmas party, you know, where you haven't really met people from different departments, but you start clocking the room and you're like, oh, who's who? And I wasn't I wasn't scared of these people. And I think in corporate hierarchies, it's like you're supposed to do yes sir, no sir, 3 bags full to Big Dave in management. Does Big Dave not shit the same way that I do? Oh, he does. Then I'm going to treat him like every other human being. Again, this is why a corporate environment hates me. Because I won't respect you based on your title. I will show you respect based on your character. And if you show me that you've got weak sauce, red buzzer. So funny. And I can laugh at it now and I can own it. How much people really disliked me. They hated me. Just because I wasn't like them. And now I look at where my life has taken me and is taking me. And I could never imagine being in a corporate environment again. I'd rather eat my own face for the next 2 years. Like, that just isn't going to happen. I can't do that. I can't sit in your fakery and your bullshit. Because it isn't who I am. And if that means I'm disabled, cool. Oh, dearie me. So, in this environment, gossip spread like fucking wildfire. Because there's a lot of small minds in a very big building. There's over 1,000 people in this building, easy. And everybody loves a little gossip in the smoking area, don't they? Human nature. That's what we do. Oh, that's what we did, should I say. And it came to my attention that there was... I don't know how the fuck this was okay, but it was. There was a member of a different department's management who was an older gentleman, was having a relationship with a noticeably young woman who I'd say was mid-20s at the time. This guy's in his 50s. They're working in the same department. That's weird. What's even weirder to me at the time is that this particular person involved, this man, had also fucked his wife off for this scenario. And I couldn't quite wrap my head around that, and that's just flying around the rumour mill. And I'm like, well, it's not my fucking life, but I'm still observing it, I'm still taking it in. It's not mine, but I can still see. And after one of the Christmas do's, me and a friend of mine came onto this man's radar. And that is where I'm going to leave today's episode. I told you it was getting juicy. Oh, it's getting fucking juicy. That is all you're getting. For episode 4 of season 4, Dysfunction Exposed. Stay tuned. It's coming next.